Dana saw the money signs. He was sitting there like Mr. Krabs. Money, 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 money. But that is gone. Kayla Harrison is the most highly desired free agent in the whole of mixed martial arts. Hands down. But right now, she's just floating around. She's in the MMA atmosphere. She's floating around like a rare Pokeball. She has brilliant personal branding, incredible PR, a truly inspiring backstory, an unbeaten mixed martial arts career, and 2 Olympic gold medals. Chuck that in there for good measure. She's a PR department's wet dream, and at the moment is pretty much a 3-dog race. Bellator, UFC, and the PFL. And in this video, I'm going to be having a look at the pros and the cons for each one and why I think she'll go to the UFC. I don't think it'll be an easy decision, but I think there's 2 burning reasons of why. And if you enjoy the content, please hit the like, subscribe, and the little bell icon to stay up to date. Here at Casuals Corner, I bring you MMA from the UK, interviews with fighters, fight breakdowns, and daily MMA shorts. Yes, I said daily. Get involved. PFL, perfect financial living, perfect family life. Now, this is exactly where I think the PFL leverages their contract offer the most to Kayla Harrison. We have to remember, she's a new mum now. She has new family obligations, and that will definitely be playing in her mind, because currently in the PFL, she has lesser competitions, lesser media obligations, and she is cashing novelty-sized $1 million checks pretty regularly with, let's be honest, easy competition by the standards of Kayla Harrison. So I know that offer's there on the table, and that one's looking tempting. Then we've got Bellator. Now, Bellator's interesting because I think they flirt the line between PFL and the UFC of what they can offer. They can offer more branding than PFL. They can offer good, consistent paycheck, and they can offer tougher competition if you have a look at the likes of Julia Budd. But then we have the big dogs on the block, the UFC, and Uncle Dana is hungry for a PR marketing whiz who just so happens to be an Olympic gold medalist and an unbeaten mixed martial artist. As I mentioned, there's 2 burning reasons of why I think she's going to make the move, and we'll come on to them in a second. But first, let's have a look at the drawbacks, because life's not all gravy in the UFC. There's a lot of obligations that a lot of people don't see the side of, and there's going to be a lot of media obligations. There's going to be a lot of cameras, a lot of lights, a lot of consistent sit-down interviews in fight weeks. She's going to be a main draw, and you have to do the main draw stuff that comes along with that, and a lot of people forget that. And it's not that she's incapable of doing so, but she's a new mother. Like I said, we have to remember that she's going to be spending more time away from her family, more time needing to quarantine, maybe travel the world more, flying out to Abu Dhabi and having to self-isolate potentially. Then of course, on the other hand, we've got lesser paychecks. Now, this is the obvious one that I know a lot of people will argue for, and whilst I don't disagree, I think a lot of them should be paid more. I think there's also a way that they can use their position to leverage their brand more, and this is getting into why I think she will stay. Number 1, branding. Kayla Harrison is a branding expert. You may not be a wild fan because you've seen a 10-20 second clip of her on TikTok, but that is exactly why she is a marketing expert, because she's capturing your attention, and like I always say, attention is currency. But not only that, she has all the attributes to go along with that. Like I said, inspiring story, incredible entrepreneur, incredible mum. She is quite truly a very nice person, so it's hard to dislike her when you get to know her. So when she gets in front of that audience, then people will start to see her character. And as we know, a goal of hers is to create generational wealth for her children, and what this means is leveraging your brand. And this is where the UFC is so powerful, leveraging your brand. This is an attention factory, the UFC, and you can use it to churn you in and spit you out with a huge audience, huge following, huge relevance. And as I mentioned, she is an incredible businesswoman and entrepreneur, and the way that she can leverage her position at the UFC for her businesses creates exponential wealth potentially for her children. But the last reason, number 2, she's an Olympian. Being an Olympian is not a run-of-the-mill job. It's not even a run-of-the-mill profession in professional sports. It requires a type of mindset, a relentless mindset, an unforgiving mindset, a mindset which means you have to laser in 365 days a year, 24/7 for 1 day's work, 1 day. And she said that when she left the Olympics, she had this post slump, she had this post depression, so that's why she started to look into competing in mixed martial arts, test herself professionally. Well, now she's just dipped her toe in that water, and she has fell the whole way in, because she has passed that test with flying colours. But what do we know? History always repeats itself, and she's done it once and she's gonna do it again, I am telling you, because this is why she's moving to the UFC. Kayla Harrison wants the toughest challenge. She wants the toughest competitors. She wants the best legacy. If she comes over to the UFC and dominates, there is no question in anybody's mind she is simply the greatest female combat athlete of all time. And by the way, just quickly, how fuming was Dana White when Juliana Pena choked out Amanda Nunes without her hooks in? That fight between Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes was built up to be one of the greatest combat fights ever. Two of the most dominant women in respective fields clashing it out in their prime like the clash of the titans. Dana saw the money signs. He was sitting there like Mr. Krabs. Money, 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 money. But that is gone. Now, not completely gone. You can still make that fight. It's lost a little bit of shine. It's lost a lot of shine. It's lost a lot of allure. Now, despite what you think, is unquestioned that when she comes into that fight, Amanda Nunes, you are only going to be thinking of her bloodied face tapping out to the forearm across the neck. Discredit to the champ. That's just facts. So the UFC lost a little bit of leverage in that one. Therefore, I think they'll have to sweeten the deal a little bit more. Maybe chuck a few more quid on the table. But I want you to let me know what you think and where you think she's going to go. Chuck it in the comments. And as always, hit the like, subscribe and the bell icon to stay up to date if you enjoyed the content. Enjoy your Christmas holidays. Peace.